Welcome back, everybody. Today we're here to talk about The Walking Dead Season 10 and do a Q&A. Season 10 is less than a week away. I'm so excited for Season 10 to return, and I want to do a Q&A and you guys ask some questions. So we're going to go through them and answer them, and then you guys in the comments down below can answer the questions as well, because there are a lot of good questions about this, so we can have a good Season 10 discussion. With that being said, if you are a fan of The Walking Dead, be sure to subscribe, because we're going to be doing reviews and breakdowns and, trailer breakdowns, all that kind of stuff. So be sure to subscribe to be kept up to date with all new information for the new season. With all that being said, let's get into it. All right. The first question comes in from Marco Boat, who says, what do you think Gamma will do this season, and do you think Judith will be in the Whisper War? Alright, so Gamma's definitely an interesting character, because they did like a Thursday reveal and they released like some promo images of Gamma. Angela Kang did an interview talking about Gamma. So Gamma looks to be a pretty important character this season. And I'm interested to see what her arc is going to be like, because I think it's going to be, Gamma obviously is in the comics. So this person was like a whisperer, and now they're kind of working their way up, and now she's Gamma. So I am excited and interested to see what she's going to do. I think, the obvious answer is I think she's going to cause a lot of trouble for the other characters. But I do know a popular theory out there is that Gamma is Winnie from the episode, the flashback episode from Michonne, episode 14 of last year. If Gamma is Winnie, I think her objective will be to like just completely bother Michonne and kind of go back and taunt her. But if Gamma isn't Winnie and Gamma is like a totally new character, I think she's just gonna do, pretty much what Alpha tells her to do. What I think will be interesting is if Gamma is, trying to overthrow Beta and Alpha too and try to become Alpha. That's something that's kind of been on my mind, and I would like to see that, because if there is no Gamma in the comics and this character is working her way up, within the Whisper community, there's no reason to stop. She probably wants to be an alpha, so it's going to be interesting to see if there's going to be some inner conflict between the Whispers, and I could definitely see that happening. So I do think she's going to be a really important character this season, and I'm excited for her. And do I think Judith will be in the Whisper War? This is a tricky one, because they released that teaser of like all the main characters kind of like prepping for war, and Judith was in there. Now obviously that was like a promotional piece, so obviously Judith being a main character will be there. But I do think Judith will be in the Whisper War. I don't think she's gonna be like in the front lines or anything like that. I don't think Michonne is gonna let Judith, walk up to the Whisper border or anything like that. But I do think she will be involved in the Whisper War, whether or not that was planned or anything like that. Because I'm sure she has a little bit of Carl in her. I'm sure she's gonna go explore and stuff like that. And her being a main character, I definitely think there is gonna be some interactions with the Whispers, and she's probably gonna fight some Whispers. So I do think she will be involved in the Whisper War. Thanks for sending in those questions, Marco. Real good questions. I'm curious to see what you guys think about those as well. The next question comes in from Piper of Pink Maiden Castle, who says, with Michonne and Ezekiel romance all but confirmed, do you think this is a way for the writers ship Daryl and Carol? I'm a huge fan of the platonic BFF love between them, so I hope not. But I know there's a lot of Daryl and Carol shippers out there. I'm on the same page as you here. I don't want to see Daryl and Carol together. I know a lot of people out there ship them. But I agree with you 100%. I'm a huge fan of them, just being best friends. So I don't really, I just feel like that's what that's the way I kind of saw their relationship this entire time. But I don't think Michonne and Ezekiel will last that long. I think Michonne will find out that Rick's alive, and Ezekiel will understand. Michonne obviously is going to want to go after him. And I still see Carol and Ezekiel getting back together. But I always, like you said, I always saw them as best friends. So I'm going to stick it with that. And, I just want to see them continuing being best friends. So thank you for sending in that question. You guys let me know in the comments down below. Do you ship Daryl and Carol, or do you want to see them, just as best friends? The next question comes in from Fadi Darowich, who says, do you think it is time for Carol and Negan to meet? I think if Carol is on a revenge path, Negan would be her go-to guy. Besides, we have never seen the two together in one scene since Negan's introduction in season 6. Yeah, the fact that we haven't seen Carol and Negan in the scene really shocks me. I mean, I don't even know if they've met. And the reason I say that is because there has been such a huge time jump since season 6 that I guess it is possible for them to have met, but I don't know. For me, I don't think they've met before, so I don't know. But I do think, I agree with you 100% here that since Carol is on a revenge path, Negan would be her go-to guy. And yeah, Carol and Negan are on everybody's list to be the ones to kill Alpha, I think. Negan for redemption reasons and Carol for revenge reasons. In a theory, I kind of thought, or not really a theory, I think it's more of a prediction, or at least what I hope, like this would be something cool I would love to see, is that if, let's say, Negan is the one to take down Alpha, as much as I want Carol to kill Alpha because of what, Alpha did to Henry, I think it'll be interesting if Negan is the one to kill Alpha, and that would kind of, in a way, sort of bond Carol and Negan, because Carol would want to be like, okay, this, who's this guy who, killed this person that I was trying to go after, and that would kind of like, help them meet if they haven't met already, or at least like Carol can say like thank you to Negan and stuff like that. So I do think it is time for them to meet, and I think that would be a really good way for that to happen if, they just sort of are both in the same mission, at least one of them succeeds, and that was how they kind of bond. So hopefully that something like that does happen. Thanks for sending in that question, I do appreciate it. The next one comes in from Betty Smith, who says Jane Atkinson, who plays Georgie, is in a new show called Bluff City Law on NBC. Do you think she will still be in The Walking Dead, or her character Georgie will be killed off? Alright, so I actually didn't know that she was in a new show, so thank you for letting me know. But that is interesting because, well, it's a little bit tricky for Georgie because she got introduced in season 8 and now it's season 10 and we haven't even heard anything about her. They're going to be done filming season 10 in November, which is like, probably 2 months they're going to be done filming. Definitely. So we still haven't heard any news on him returning, any cast spottings or anything like that. So it's a little bit tricky because we don't know what's going on with her character. Like maybe she has time to do this show, maybe she's still signed on to The Walking Dead, and then she got this offer to be on the show like right now, and The Walking Dead's like, yeah, it's okay because your character isn't going to be used until so and so. So I don't know all the details around her character. So I don't think Georgie will be killed off because she was only in one episode. But maybe, Maggie comes back and introduces the rest of the characters to this community that Georgie is from, and maybe another character takes over and is like the leader there. So again, I don't know what's going on with Georgie because she's only been in one episode. But I do think it is possible for her to come back, and still be on The Walking Dead because if it was part of her contract or she has plans, and I'm sure they already have all this covered, So I don't think any of this will, affect the story too much, which is obviously the most important thing. But it's just way too early to tell, and we don't have too much information on Georgie just yet. Thanks for sending in that question, Betty. I do appreciate it. The next one comes in from Martin Carrillo, who says, I have 2 questions. 1, what do you think Lydia would react seeing her mom dead? 2, what is Negan going to do after the Whisper War? Love your vid. Well, first of all, thank you so much for the support. I do appreciate that. And to answer your first question, what would Lydia's reaction to Alpha dying, her mom? That's a tough one because like right now they're getting ready to go to war against her mom and her people. So I don't really see her jumping up and down and being excited about it if Alpha dies, because it is her mom. But on the other hand, it was somebody who wasn't very nice to her and was, not treated her very poorly. So if anything, I just think Lydia is just gonna move on. I don't really see her reacting, being like extremely excited or extremely sad or anything like that. I think if anything, she's just gonna move on from it, after it happens. And then your second question says, what is Negan going to do after the Whisper War? That's a good question because, ever since he was put in the cell, like we knew his redemption arc is gonna come next. Like we knew that was happening. We just had to wait for it. But while that was happening, we lost a lot of characters like Rick and Maggie, and now Michonne is leaving too. And after the Whisper War, after his redemption arc, he's just gonna be like anybody else in the community. So I think Negan is gonna get a lot of big storylines. I think he's gonna be like one of the main characters in the show. Like I'm talking like main character like Daryl and Carol, and what Michonne is now. Obviously Michonne is leaving, but I think he's gonna be one of the main characters and possibly even like like a leader for one of the communities, because he was asking Michonne about that. So I think that's what his mind is at. He wants to be a leader, and I think he's gonna redeem himself and try to work towards that. So I wouldn't be surprised if he does end up being like a leader for one of these communities. Thank you for those questions, Martin. I do appreciate it. The next one comes in from Tracy Smith, who says, says, how come I've never heard anyone mention anything about Gabriel knowing about Judith's plan to trade people, or this other community she mentioned that they could live in very comfortably, or the helicopters? Wouldn't that be his first guess if he didn't think Rick died and suddenly Judith was gone as well? And about this A and B stuff, remember when the wolves came in and Carol put in a casserole for 45 minutes, and when she was finished with them, dinner was done? While she sat on the porch afterwards, there was an A painted on the rail. Wow, just wondering if anyone was on the same page. Yeah, that's something I've always been wondering as well. How come Gabriel didn't say anything about Jadis's plan? Now, that being said, there was like a big time jump, 6 years since that happened. And I think when everybody saw the bridge explode and look for Rick and they couldn't find anything, maybe he just assumed that there was no way he could survive that. But it is odd, it is really odd that he hasn't mentioned it. But I do think if they come into contact again with this helicopter, that's when it's gonna snap for him and he's gonna be like, oh my goodness, Jadis told me about this, if he hasn't told them already, which he might have already told them, but they don't really want to worry about that because I guess for everybody else it looked like Rick died 100%. But yeah, you are right. I feel like there should be more urgency towards that, but there isn't. So there really is nothing we can do about it. I really wish they had a discussion about it. But I think we will get one, eventually, especially if Michonne goes and looks for Rick, or if the characters find out that Rick is alive. I really hope that we finally get that conversation, or at least like a speech or something about Gabriel just telling everybody what happened. And then the A and B stuff, so that's a real good observation you made there. But here's the thing, we've been seeing the letter A on The Walking Dead for a long time. Even in Terminus we saw it, on one of the trains there was an A. So I don't know if this is all connected, but I mean, maybe if there was more B's, it would be definitely connected, but we've been seeing the letter A for a long time. I don't know exactly what it means. I don't know if it's all connected. But I don't know. I wouldn't bet on it because I don't know if they're ever going to go back and talk about Terminus and the wolves and stuff like that. Or maybe it was just a little thing, they wanted. I don't know what A stands for, if those are different than, what Jadis is. But yeah, we have seen A on The Walking Dead for a while, so I don't know if it's going to be the same thing as Jadis, but that is interesting. Thank you for those questions, Tracy. I do appreciate it. Real good questions. The next one comes in from Matthew Diaz, who says, do you think Judith and Lydia, or any characters in general, can have a relationship like Rick and Daryl? That's a real good question because, well, here's the thing. Do I think it's possible? Definitely. But I think it's also going to be really hard because with Rick and Daryl, it wasn't just the number of years of The Walking Dead. It was a number of years for us also, since season 1, that relationship has been growing for 9 years. So it is possible, but it's going to be really tough because, even in the show, if it skips 10, 20 years in the show's timeline, we're not going to really feel that, for these characters. They could, yeah, these characters could be best friends for all we know, but for us fans, it's going to be hard. So I do think it is going to be possible. They're just going to have to, grow these relationships as the years go on. Thank you for sending in that question, Matthew. And thank you all for sending in those questions. Real good questions. Let me know in the comments down below, your thoughts and opinions about those questions. Go ahead and answer them down there. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this Q&A. If you did, be sure to leave a like rating. Again, The Walking Dead Season 10 will be returning, in less than a week. So we're going to be doing reviews and breakdowns and all that kind of stuff. So be sure to subscribe. I am going to wrap it up there. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later.